There is a Zulu Ubuntu word that they typically use, and it's called Ubuntu. It's Ubuntu in a Bantu speaking language. And Ubuntu means, loosely translated, togetherness. When we do things together, we're much more bigger, we're much stronger, we're much more effective. And what I want to be able to share with you at this time is why the concept of Ubuntu is where we need to focus our efforts. Between nonprofit, community-based organizations, between schools, and between neighborhood churches, our local churches. The intertwining of these three things, to me, exemplifies that scripture, that faithful scripture, where you braid with three strands, it's not easily broken. And it's a paraphrase on that, but it inspires me to make sure that everything that we do from our organization, that we are the bridge, or we're holding on to different pieces of what's going on in the community. You see, several years ago, about 9 years ago, when I first started working for the organization, I found that we were like a standalone organization. My family and I had just moved to Omaha, Nebraska. We plopped down right in the inner city of Omaha, Nebraska, and we didn't tell anyone that we were coming. In essence, we didn't knock on doors or call churches or talk to local pastors or even try to find out who we knew in the school district. We planted ourselves in that community, and then it was almost implied that we knew best what was for that community without asking the school, do you want us here? Without asking the local church, hey, can we partner? And what ended up happening over about 24-month period is that there ended up being some built-in resentment from not only some schools and some local churches that we hadn't reached out to them. My heart was immensely broken that we did it that way. So then 4 years ago, we had began to expand, and the model began to change because I recall walking in a school, having a conversation with a whole table of kids who only looked like me, and one young lady from Albania. And I'll never forget her name. Her name is Borana Jotka. And to this day, she is still a great friend of ours. We love her to death. She stands up in her very thick Albanian accent, and she says, hey, why don't you talk to me? Why do you and your staff come here every day and you never talk to my table? And the thought hit me and crushed me and convicted me that I'd only been going to talk to people who looked just like me. My staff were talking to people who looked just like them, and although that is good and has its intended purposes, it's not Ubuntu. It's not togetherness. And so from that, we began to shift our paradigm and change how we approached kids and how we approach schools and how we approach local churches by partnering and sitting down at the table. Transversely, you fast forward that all the way to about 9 months ago when me and my family relocated from Omaha to Sacramento. And we've started to do the very same thing. We've expanded our organization by adding 2 schools this school year by having that same formula, by having friends and partnerships with local schools and partnering with local churches in that area to find out we have this invaluable resource of sustainability working with churches and working with schools. In the valuable resource, 2 of the most valuable resources, in my opinion, that anyone can give is time and money. And when you can partner with the sustainable resource of church and school, they always have people there. And we have the ability to give time as well with our organization is what we train people to do. That glorious partnership, and albeit it's still in its infancy, I only see this amazing trajectory of how awesome this is. As our organization tries to expand, we only expand on the precipice of 3 criteria. Does the school want us there? Is the local church excited about us being there, and can we partner with them? Can we help youth pastors out? Because I know they're taxed and they're busy. And also, do we have the manpower? Do we have enough people that can give enough time to start mentoring and cleaning tables and taking out trash and helping out and hanging out with kids in impoverished neighborhoods and neighborhoods that have affluent kids as well? Togetherness is not just doing one sector for me anymore. Ubuntu is about reaching every kid, everywhere, for eternity. And as long as we continue to partner with the school and the church, we will stay together.